what's up everybody? So I just got all this stuff painted last night. I spent like the whole day yesterday painting this stuff. It's amazing how much more work painting is. Like every time I go to do it, I think it's going to be a super fast, easy thing, but it's always a kind of complex, very time-consuming deal. Anyway, these are painted. It feels good. There's just a couple more things I got to do before I can put them in. One is put the tops on and the luan sides. I gotta get something to cover the luan. I think I'm gonna use some clear lacquer, not lacquer, but polyester like finish on it to keep it durable and waterproof. But these are almost ready. But before I put these in, I've got a lot of places in this van where I'm gonna put this vinyl that I got. And this stuff was only like 20 bucks on Amazon shipped or something like that, maybe 25. And I just got a ton of it. So this will be more than enough to do this whole thing. Basically all these spots where I put the THINSULATE on the sides, which would otherwise be bare exposed metal, I'm going to cover these with the vinyl. And to do that, I'm going to use this 3M high adhesive contact glue. And I just want to give a big thanks to, I think his name's Mike from Backroads Vanner. He's the one that inspired me to do this whole thing. He's got an awesome video, an awesome van about how he went the extra step and put a bunch of vinyl and cloth trim in his van. He's got a really cool video about it, so link is in the description. Make sure you check out his channel. He's a really cool guy. And his van rocks and his channel rocks. So yeah, so I went ahead and glued on all this THINSULATE in all these different areas, and I recorded how I did that, so check this out. So I had enough of this THINSULATE to cover all the wall pillars up here. That one, this one over here all the way, and this one here all the way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this 3M Super 90 high heat adhesive, and I'm just going to spray down. It's moisture and heat resistant, by the way. And I'm just going to spray down the back side here. And I'm going to wear gloves and goggles and turn on the fan, get some really good airflow going. And I'm going to follow the directions. It says to put 1 to 3 coats and spray it down and wait for it to become tacky and just stick it on. I'm going to try a small piece and see if I can do it with only spraying the THINSULATE and not the wall itself, and see how that holds. And then I'm going to follow through, and if that works, then I'll do that on all the pieces. If it doesn't, then I'm going to have to mask off the windows so that I don't get a bunch of spray glue all over the windows, and do it that way. All right, so I did a couple pretty heavy coats with this spray, and I had it on medium. These are adjustable, and it's just starting to get tacky now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up the outside because I want it to be within this this little channel here. And I still haven't decided what I'm going to put over it, by the way. Now I'm just going to push it down and wrap it around. And bam, insulated. So this piece and this piece stuck really, really well, and I think that's because I really saturated them. I put on really heavy glue and let it soak in and let it sit for a few minutes until it got really, really tacky. This one I sprayed pretty lightly, and I didn't wait as long, and it's not holding on as well. So I'm actually going to pull this one back off and redo it and saturate it, like completely saturate it, and let it wait. So here's how I'm doing this. And definitely wear eye protection. You could probably get away without a mask if you have adequate airflow. This stuff doesn't smell too bad. So move this one over. And look at how this jets out. It's nice and easy to spray. And in fact, I'm going to turn it up a little bit. You can turn the spray up and down by turning this top nozzle, which is pretty clever. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go for a round 2 on this. All right, so to set this stuff on, I just set it in place, and I do the part that's visually important first, and I tack it on, and I press it down, and I work my way in. I'm working around these cables here, so I just kind of tuck it in, and I waited till it got nice and tacky, nice and sticky, and just press it in, and then press down as hard as I can
to squeeze all that glue in and get it to stick the best that it possibly can. This stuff's really easy to work with. In fact, I kind of wish I would have just done this in the first place and not worried about that duct tape. But I guess on the other hand, it would have taken a little extra time because you got to spray the stuff down and then you got to wait for it to tack up and everything else. So there we go. Nice and glued. So that method of applying the glue really heavy and waiting for it to get really nice and tacky definitely worked. I got that piece back there on really well, as well as the ones back there, and I got another strip drying for that little spot in between that I missed. So I also realized that it's much better to do a couple little pieces than one giant piece. It's going to be really hard to line everything up perfectly with one giant piece. So for this one, I'm going to cut it in half. Now I am going to go ahead in the end and use some kind of material. I'm thinking canvas now, and glue the material over this so that it looks a lot better, and that'll actually add another layer of insulation. But the main thing is I just want all the bare metal covered, at least as much as possible. And the reason why is when it's hot out, this metal heats up. It gets so hot that you can feel the heat coming off of it. And when it's cold out and it's warm inside the van and there's humidity, not just from water in here, but from my breath, that's how you get condensation, and condensation leads to mold. So it's definitely very important to cover all the exposed metal pieces. So far, that's what I've found anyway. That's my theory. And it seems to be based off of science, so yeah. Fan is all the way down there, so I'm actually going to go back out of the van and go to the other side to spray the glue again so that it's not blowing straight into me. Important thing to note your air direction. Another thing that I feel that is important to take note of is I did not cover up all these holes, and that I did this one because it's huge, and this one, I don't know why, but these ones I left open because if for some reason air, and again I'm lining this up with the molding, if air does or water does get in there somehow, it'll be much easier for it to escape, and it can totally escape through the THINSULATE. But if I block everything up and water somehow does get in there, then I'm totally screwed because it has no way of getting out. And stale air with water in it in a dark place, that is a recipe for mold, my friend. All right. Look at that. Beautiful. Let's see, is this one tacky enough yet? Yup. All right, so we got our final piece on this side. Let me line this up. So I'm doing the part that touches the molding first, and then I press it in, and then I wrap this around and kind of press it out, just like that. And then I press and wrap it around, and then I give it some good hard wax. Surprised my dog isn't barking yet. And this just makes sure that all the glue touches not only the THINSULATE, but it presses against the metal, and that will help it stay in. Except for this piece. Huh, interesting. Check this out. So the part on the very inside got glue, focus. So this part on the very inside, that's the final strip of THINSULATE, and this is the inside. So what I'm gonna do, I need to press this one in, is just spray a little bit in there and hope that I don't overspray and just press it down. So since I learned my lesson on that last one with this flap opening, basically, I am going to go ahead and on this one, outsmart myself a little bit. Get my goggles on. All right. I'm going to lay this over. This is actually the final piece. Press it down so that both sides get saturated. There we go. Roll this over. Do the same thing. Actually, need to move this down a little bit. It shouldn't take too much to do this because it's fabric to fabric. And now, I keep moving this because there's holes in here and I don't want to get glue on my nice new laminate floor. You see how I'm going in lines? And then I start over and do the same thing. Get 2 coats. And when I'm spraying, I go over the end. You see that? See how I went whoosh, over the end? And I start before the end. All right, so some of the tools I'm gonna use are eye protection, respiratory system and protection, scissors, and this 90 high strength moisture and heat resistant spray. And Mike says to use the 80, but I chose the 90 because they had the 90, and I think the 90 might be a little stronger for some reason. I don't know why. 80 or 90, do your own research, make up your own mind on that. But I think to get started here, I'm going to take on the biggest piece first, which is this one. Or maybe it's the back ones. I don't know. I'm just going to do this one first. So I'm going to figure out how much this vinyl I need to cut out. Looks like we've got a pretty straight line here. Wow. And I'm gonna leave these metal parts around the windows bare because I'm gonna put magnetic strips on my Reflectix so that it completely holds the Reflectix in the windows. So I'm just lining this up and getting this set on here. I'm gonna mark where my cuts need to be. This would be much easier if this wasn't one giant piece. I think I might have to cut this down a little bit. Okay, so I am certainly no professional with this. This is basically, I'm gonna try to do this, and if I mess up, I'm gonna tell you what I did wrong so that you don't make the same mistakes. But I cut this piece out to fit, and I left overlap on every side, and I peeled the seal off this door so that I can overlap that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this on, and then I'm going to come in with an X-Acto knife, or if scissors will work, I'll use scissors, and I'll trim all the edges off, but I want it to overhang a little bit. Don't worry, another piece is going to go up here. And I'm just going to glue this sucker on and stick it on, and hope that it works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this down on a piece of paper so that it's not getting glue all over my nice hardwood floor here, and spray the glue on nice and thick, and let it tack up for a few minutes, and then just press it on, just like I did the THINSULATE. I'm using gloves now too. The glue tacks up on this stuff a lot faster than it does on the THINSULATE. So I'm just setting this on here and pressing down in the middle, and then I'm going to tuck it under. Oh wow, this is hard to do. There we go. Tuck it under, press, just keep pressing, and there it is. So that's on there good now. It's not going anywhere. I just gotta come in after it dries all the way and trim off this excess. That looks good. Check this one out. Look at how this one turned out. It turned out really good. It looks really nice. Really professional looking. That's just great. I love it. For these ones back here, I think it'll be a lot easier to split it up into 2 pieces. One for up here and one for down here. Just because this is such a weird shape. Stay inside. Alright, looks like I ran out of glue, but I got this piece up and that whole one on that back side. And this one here and that one back there. So now I just need to get some more glue from the Lowe's penis and glue some strips on right here
and the ones that go up here. I gotta remove this little plate. I'm just gonna go around these bolts here. I don't know how the hell these things are in here, but I can't figure out how to get them out. So I'm just gonna leave them in place. I kind of decided against putting the little cabinets up here because they're gonna be so small, and they're also gonna make it feel small in here. If I leave the top open like this, it'll make it feel much bigger in here, which is really important because it's such a small space.